What's going on, Virgo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you've been having just the most fantastic birthday season and also month so far. Happy birthday, Virgo. I know we got about, maybe about 10 more days of your birthday season left. So, for those of you who got birthdays coming up, I hope you enjoy the rest of this birthday season. I hope you've just been living up. Even though it's been a little retrograde heavy, we still can find some time to celebrate there, Virgo. So, sending y'all the love, light, and just joy and all that great stuff there, Virgo. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Virgo, especially during your birthday season. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Stuff has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why I'm also really geeked up, Virgo, because it is Celestial News Monthly. I know, Virgo, well, you may not be pumped that the sun's moving out of your sign, but how could we not be pumped for Celestial News Monthly? But with this monthly spread, Virgo, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great angel around here, Virgo. So Virgo, I have Zodiac Oracle cards with each of the signs that the planets and the sun are in. We're going to talk about, I'm going to pull an Oracle card for each one of them, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case of y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching, Virgo, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you'd really enjoy them. But before we get into your first card here, let's talk about this party that Libra's throwing. They got a lot of stuff going on there because you got the sun that's entering Libra, you got Mercury in Libra, and also we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse in Libra as well. So look at them going, just trying to throw in this big old birthday bash. Well, let's start with the sun, because the sun is going to enter Libra on the 23rd of September, and that'll be about 2:50 Eastern time in the morning, and then we'll be there through the 23rd of October. And with this energy, Virgo, this is a really great cycle for connecting with others. Because, Libra deals with those one-on-one relationships, whether that be with romance, familial, business, however that's looking. So this is a great time if you've been meaning to, get out there and socialize, maybe make some new connections, things like that. Libra energy has got your back. And this is also a great energy for appreciating beauty, because Libra also deals with beauty, aesthetics, art, because they're Empress ruled. Empress is all about bringing beauty and stuff to the world. So, and this could be whether we're going to maybe an art festival, maybe a museum, maybe there's a concert we want to go to, or even just appreciating just the natural life that this world has to offer, getting out in nature, really just kind of taking it all in, Virgo. So it can be really lovely energy for that as well. But also, you'll be able to see all sides of a situation more, because when Libra's thinking, they really do weigh out all of the options. So this is a really great energy for that as well, Virgo. Also, you have your ruler that's going to be entering into Libra on the 4th of October, and will be there through the 22nd of October. And with this, diplomacy takes center stage, and communication kind of becomes the center focus. So this is a great energy for, if you've been needing to negotiate some things, or if you notice there's some kind of disharmony in our relationships. This is a great energy for, just being able to come at it from a more kind of fair, balanced approach. And Libra's got this kind of charming way of approaching a situation too. So, definitely utilize that to your advantage. But also, if you've noticed that there is that kind of disharmony in your relationship, Libra likes balance, so work with that. And then last energy, we got this new moon solar eclipse in Libra, and that's going to happen on the 14th of October. You know, eclipses bring about change there, Virgo, and this really asks us to examine our relationships in our lives and let go of any sort of unbalanced situation. So if you notice that you have situations or just any kind of any sort of like people you're involved with that are lowering your vibration, this could be an energy of. And I think we're talking about boundaries not too long ago with your with one of your readings. And if we notice that we need to put up some boundaries, or if we need to just completely leave a situation altogether, you know, the lunar eclipse is going to definitely bring that to our attention. All right, but let's go ahead and get into your first card here. Oh, love how you sync up with the energies there, Virgo, because you got one of Libra's cards, the second card of Libra, which is the ostrich trap. This is a funny card. Well, not the descriptions, but just, I mean, come on. But with this card, this is a card of avoidance, closed-mindedness, refusing to face reality, evade, feeling threatened, fake out, inhibit, fear-based thinking, steering clear, run for cover, and just a conspiracy theory. And the energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is refusing to face reality. And so I feel like if we've been maybe dealing with people who have been not wanting to face the truth, you know, and for whatever reason, maybe it's something has become too hard, or I don't know, like I'm even getting like maybe there's even this energy of like escapism, you know, maybe we're dealing with like a family member or a partner, or you know, it's gonna even be at work, you know, maybe I don't know, it's just like there's really kind of this stubbornness or this like ardent energy of you not wanting to maybe even like rise up and take like responsibility for things as well there, Virgo. I feel that that's something we may want to get eyes on, you know, considering we were just talking about that with Libra energy. And if this, I feel like if that keeps going on, I don't, you know, and you're in a judgment free zone, Virgo, and I know you're a sign of service and you like to help others and kind of help them, you know, bring them to their highest vibration. But if someone's not willing to take the advice that you're giving, then this may be something, you know, it's like we can't force anyone to do anything, Virgo. We just got to kind of pull back, even if it's against our, even if it, you know, if it bothers us, if it hurts us, or, and we have to, because you can put in this energy until the sun goes down, but you know they have to want to help themselves as well. But also, Virgo, this can, you know, just to be fair, this is on the flip side. So we want to be mindful of if we do find ourselves in situations where we're not facing reality, where we're choosing to ignore the signs and things like that. Eventually, we're going to have to take responsibility for whatever that means. And that could potentially lead to either like a hanged man situation, a tower moment, anything along those lines. So just something to be mindful of coming up into this next month, and being aware of people, you know, just getting involved with others who seem to have this sort of like almost like delusional way of operating, or this is like choosing to stay out of touch, or choosing this ignorance. But let's get some tarot on this, get some details. Thank you. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on here. Interesting, Virgo. All right, so you have the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and then you have the High Priestess here. And I feel like, Virgo, you know, just kind of pay attention to your intuition. If something is telling you that if a situation doesn't feel right, you know, or because again, this could be either people we're dealing with, or it's like maybe we might be making choices that I don't know, it's like that are going against our better judgment. It's like we know that this isn't right, but we're just like, again, it's just like we're just choosing to ignore this thing. You know, I feel like we want to be careful with that, because I feel like our, you know, the High Priestess, your intuition is trying to lead you again to achieve your dreams, you know, to accomplish whatever your goals are in life. But if we get involved in those types of energies, it's going to slow down this process here with the King of Wands, because the King of Wands is usually about having a game plan. King of Pentacles and King of Wands, they're very responsible figures. They're very much about having things in order, and this can even be like for some, I'm even kind of getting with like the with both these figures here. They're but giving me this sort of like maybe for some when it comes to like work or things, it's like it's like I almost feel like there's this energy of paying attention to how much we give our energy to. And again, I would never tell you to quit your job or anything like that, Virgo. But there is something here about, it's just like maybe we're in a company that, I don't know, it's not operating at to their fullest potential, or it's like we're choosing to stay in something when we're choosing to stay in like an environment that is, it's not, we know that it's not promoting our growth, but it's just like almost in feeling like a comfort zone that's kind of being here with like the King of Pentacles. You know, just pay attention to that there, Virgo. But let me get a little bit more on the, because the King of Pentacles is one of your cards here, and even the Ten of Pentacles. This is Mercury in Virgo. But let me get a little bit more on your card here. Because it almost feels like that these kings, it's just like maybe this people, it's like it's this energy that's embodying like there's no kind of game plan, or there's no sort of like drive, or no kind of focus, or I'm thinking. Let me see what's going on here with that, Virgo. Alright, so the King of Pentacles is clarified by the Four of Pentacles and then the Three of Swords. And it may be for some, you know, like it's like maybe we might be, if we're not already dealing with someone, I feel like there's just like just paying attention to people who, I don't know, there's like this hurt energy, you know. This could be maybe like a family or even like a relationship where, and that's interesting. We're going to talk about your energy next with Venus, but it's like there's something here where it's like we want this stability here, but we can't seem to fight it, and it may hurt you in a way, Virgo, if we try to force this thing along, as opposed to, because even like the Four of Pentacles is giving me this like this, we're staying locked in on something, or we're staying stubborn with something, we're trying to force something to work, and it's doing us more harm than good. So, and again, this could be like like investing in, because I'm even getting like Seven of Pentacles vibes, just like this could be like a company that we're invested in, or like a relationship, or maybe even like a living situation possibly. But just pay attention to your intuition, listen to your emotions, and if things aren't feeling like, Virgo, we may need to keep it moving. All right, Virgo. Interesting start. All right, now let's talk about your energy. Because the Empress, Venus, she's going to be entering your sign on the 8th of October and will be there through the 8th of November. And with this energy there, Virgo, the Empress is going to work. This is a real, very organized and very hard working placement for the Empress. And this is great for figuring out what is working in your relationship and what isn't. And so I feel like use that to your advantage, Virgo. Because again, with that, how that energy was kind of coming through there, I feel like there's something, I almost feel like there's like this going to be like this epiphany that's like, something we've been ignoring for a while is really going to come to light in a weird kind of way. And again, it may kind of hurt at first, but that's going to give you this energy to take action, to really kind of get things adjusted there. So, and you know, with Venus also in Virgo, you know, it's about really focusing on practical matters. And if something is, again, if we're in some sort of like, I'm getting, it's like a weird situation or something like that. Let's start figuring out how we can get that corrected. But Venus also deals with like, can deal with finances and things. So this could be a great energy too for getting your finances in order, Virgo, getting things organized, and you know, kind of analyzing where we might be maybe maybe even overspending, or maybe we can find a more efficient way to even get more resources even in the long term here. So this is a dope energy for you, and depending on where your Virgo placements are at, this is going to be forming a conjunction with your sign. And conjunctions are an interesting energy because it's just like the planetary energies are kind of blending with your natal placements, and so they're going to take on Venusian type of flavor there. You know, you're going to be really kind of operating in that type of Venus energy. So it might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but even people may notice this energy before you do, Virgo, and that can sometimes bring a little anxiety if we haven't quite noticed how that energy's been integrated. So just something to pay attention to there as well. But let's get an oracle on this and get some details. All right, thank you. All right, so you got the third card of Cancers, which is the Constellation card. And with this card, this is the card of network, support, associates, gathered, meetings, socialize, organization, arrangement, a collection, exchanging data, influence, in connection with, in a large amount or quantity. And the energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is an organization. And if you find yourself over this next during Libra season that things have maybe been kind of maybe things have gotten a little disorganized from your, because your season was is very retrograde heavy right now, and it's been pretty intense for the soul tribe. And if you notice things have just been kind of in disarray, this can be a great energy for you to just get things back in line, because we do have a lot of harmonious energies that are kind of working with you for the water and for the earth signs. And so, you know, if you if you notice that things are out of balance, you know, this is a great time for you to really be in your energy and really start getting to work, getting things to where things are kind of falling into place and starting to line up again. And I feel like once we start doing that, Virgo, then I feel like opportunities are going to start coming up for you for different types of any sort of things. Maybe we find if we've been maybe looking for like housing, for example, or maybe if we're looking to get to that like next promotion, maybe even, or something like that. Just thinking with your energy kind of popping up there. But you know, the King of Wands, again, he's the type that's working on he's getting a game plan, and it's about to, he's a hardworking king. So you know, you can be you're in a very efficient energy right now here, Virgo. But let's get some tarot on this. Ooh. All right. Thank you. Look at that. I told you, efficient. I like that, Virgo. Look at all the stars here. Because you have the Five of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and then the Star card here. Let's talk about the Knight of Pentacles, because with this energy, you know, Knight of Pentacles is very organized, and he can be one of my cards of if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's just like, again, this is about getting things in order. If you've noticed that situations have not been going your way, you've just been kind of let down either by people, or maybe some choices that we've made, maybe in like living situations, or just any sort of things like that, Virgo. You know, this is a great energy for you too. Get a game plan, kind of slow down and analyze what it is that we can do to kind of get things adjusted again. And you know, we might be doing some healing. You know, maybe we did have a pretty tough week. You know, even though it can be your birthday season, it is a fun time. You know, sometimes it can be kind of hard, because before the star is the Tower, and you know, some of us might be recovering from some things. But also, I feel with the and before I even get into that, I really am kind of getting with, and it makes sense too, just because we're in Libra season right now. I feel like, again, pay attention to the people that we might be associating with, you know, and how their perspectives are affecting your game plan. And it's not that we're just like cutting people off, but if they're refusing to face reality is affecting your growth and your game plan for your Ten of Pentacles here, then I do feel like we may want to just kind of, and again, I wouldn't tell you what to do, Virgo, but just something to think about how we can maybe start correcting some of that stuff here. But I was even kind of feeling with the star. You know, the star can be like a card of making a wish. And considering you got your constellations here, there, Virgo, you know, I feel like that the stars are trying to get you to you know, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you know, maybe maybe we've gotten off the rails here from our initial game plan with the 10 of Pentacles, and now we can get back on track here, really be in this kind of active state of manifestation and connect with source in things. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, you do kind of have one kind of tough aspect that's going to be going through for a little bit, but overall I feel like it's the star card can even be like a card of unexpected help. So I feel like it's like once we start kind of like maybe like weeding out some of these energies that are lowering our vibrations, then that void will get filled in with more, just more things that are going to support you there, Virgo. Very interesting here. All right, Virgo. Let's get some tea, and then let's talk about Scorpio. Because Mars is going to be entering Scorpio on the 11th of October, and will be there through the 24th of November. Excuse me. But with this energy, this is a great ability for there's a greater ability for perseverance and working through difficult challenges, because Mars is along with Aries rules over Scorpio as well. And Scorpio is a very resilient sign. They're very driven, very powerful sign. Also being ruled by both Mars and Pluto. And so even when you have like tougher energies, like, you know what, we'll talk about that one next. But even when you have tougher energies and situations that may come your way here, Virgo, you do have this. The energies are there to help you out and help you kind of push through those challenges. But also, this is a great energy for doing some self-examination. Have there been things that we've been kind of putting off or that we've been ignoring? You know, maybe some behaviors from others, or, you know, maybe certain situations that aren't really kind of panning out like we want to. But we also want to be mindful of aggression, just because now Mars is at home in one of his natural signs, and on a lower vibration, you know, Mars can be a little aggressive. So we just want to be kind of aware of that. And the nice thing about this energy, though, Virgo, depending on where your placements are at, this is forming a sextile with your sign. And sextiles after trines are very fortunate energies. You know, they're very collaborative. You know, very can bring good fortune there, but it's one of those things. It's passive energy. It's not very dynamic, so it's something that we're going to have to put some of that little more initiative to get those things, get that energy integrated. But when you do, man, it's off to the races. So, but it's just going to be one of those things. We got to face reality. We got to get things organized and start taking some action. But let's get an oracle on this. Thank you. All right, Virgo. So you got the second card of Gemini, which is the Rings card. And with this card, this is a card of contracts, agreements, bonds, strong connections, unions, partner, counterpart, lovers, telepathy, like-minded people, committed partner, engaged, interconnected, and soulmate. And the energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is the bonds. And that's fascinating, because I do feel that there is, again, it's like the energies are really trying to bring the bonds that you make into focus here. You know, and considering how, I'm just saying with the Five of Swords, how the perspectives and the actions of others, I feel like, affect you in the long term. And if there are any things that are kind of hurting you in the sense. And again, it might be kind of hard here with the Three of Swords, because maybe for some we might need to let go of some bonds maybe in the future. You know, this is something, I don't know if it's, I'm not feeling necessarily like it's going to be a sudden thing, but it might be something that we may notice a shift in some energies here. So I just feel like, you know, and even in like the newer people that you meet, again, trust your intuition. And if something doesn't quite feel right, it's not necessarily, again, that we're cutting people off, but we're just using some discernment. We're making sure that there's this reciprocity there. You know, that there's not and even just kind of thinking, you know, because Gemini energy as well, you know, they're about communications, you know, socializing, and very interesting energy here, Virgo. But let's, because even too, the Star card, you know, this is Aquarius energy. They're all about friends and groups, and Yeah, let's get some energy on, or get some tarot on this. Interesting, Virgo. All right, so you have the Eight of Cups and then the King of Cups here. And that's fascinating. That's interesting because I'm glad we kind of moved that because I'm about to talk about that energy next, about the Eight of Cups, the Saturn and Pisces. But the Eight of Cups is about, walking away from things that are no longer serving us a purpose, that have outlived their stay. That's because I'm even thinking you're racking up kings here, Virgo. And with the King of Cups, the King of Cups, he is one that does have, he's a card of like emotional wisdom, and the King of Cups really does have this deep love for the soul tribe, but at a lower vibration, he can give a lot of himself more than he needs to. If he and even get kind of lost in those relationships and things, because the King of Cups, he's usually throned on an ocean, and if we were to stay focused on all of the things that go down in there, he'd never come back up for air. And it feels like that there's this energy of like people kind of dragging you down in the sense, or at least paying attention to the ones that are I'm even almost kind of getting like devil vibes kind of coming through here, where it's just like there's just this toxic energies that might be, and it may not be like something that is obvious at first. It could just be something really light, but it's just like it's like it's slowly kind of hemorrhaging or sapping your energy, or something along those lines there. Let me get a little bit more with the King of Cups. Because he feels like he's here to say, Virgo, that there's going to be, again, these relationships that we may be either cutting out or coming into. There may be, I don't know, it's like there's this emotional bonds, but it's well, let me get a little bit more on this. Interesting, Virgo. So the King of Cups is clarified by the Two of Swords, the Six of Cups, and then the Page of Cups. And I do feel like with the Two of Swords and the Six of Cups, there's just like this energy of, we got some decisions that we need to make. It's like we're on the fence about something, only because I feel like for some this is going to be like, I feel like a bond that we've had for a while, that has some roots. And I feel like it's gonna, again, and it's just like, it feels like it's gonna, if we need to cut some people out, or put up, or not necessarily, I shouldn't put it like that, that if we're gonna need to leave some people behind, or because I feel like it's like we're outgrowing something, us, some of the people that we associate with, Virgo. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like we want to consider the other people, we want to help them, but the Page of Cups, I feel like it's asking you to put your feelings first. And again, think about how this is going to affect your stability long term. And I feel like that there is going to be this wisdom that is going to come from this. And that's not to say that you know, even though things have maybe parted ways, that doesn't mean that it wasn't, you know, lovely once upon a time. But now it's time to share some new experiences, maybe with some new people, kind of, you know, form some different types of bonds. And in order to do that, we need to make space for these, for this, you know, like newer soul tribe members to kind of come into this mix. But all right, Virgo, you gotta leave that one there. All right, now let's talk about Pisces energy, because you have Saturn and Neptune that are going to be retrograde in Pisces, and Saturn's going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with this energy, Virgo, this really asks us to help. Our Saturn's kind of asking us, have we been working on achieving our dreams? Because, you know, Pisces is very dreamy energy. They're your opposite sign. And yeah, they have this big sense of imagination and things. And it's like Saturn's asking us to really kind of work on bringing those dreams and manifesting that to the world here. Because the thing with your relationship with Pisces is, like, you know, you deal with like the day-to-day routines, you know, kind of your jobs, and more attached to the material world, whereas Pisces is more attached to the spiritual world. And so now it's like you're trying to integrate, because you do have a strong intuition there, Virgo, to be able to manifest the way that you do, King of Pentacles. But it's like it's finding that balance of how do you work in spirituality into your day-to-day routines, you know, to bring that energy grounded, you know. And also, you know, Saturn and Pisces is all about, again, connecting with that spiritual side of you. So maybe it's like, for some, it's like maybe we're starting doing some meditation, possibly, you know, maybe getting out in nature more, however you connect to a source. Maybe it's sitting in front of a fire, maybe it's doing something creative, you know, maybe making some art, or doing some music, or, you know, maybe building things. But yeah, we're in a very spiritual time. I feel, with both Saturn and Neptune still. Well, Neptune's been chilling there for a while, but now that Saturn's starting to kick it in Pisces, yeah, it's taking on a different kind of flavor here. But it's a nice placement for Saturn. But also, you got Neptune that's going to be retrograde until the 6th of December. And with this is really a powerful energy for doing that introspective, or you're doing like some of your energy, some hermit energy, and journeying within, and listening to your intuition, and, you know, connecting with source, on however that looks like, you know, your higher self, spirit guides, angels, whatever that's looking like for you. And but also, too, Virgo, we want to be mindful, because you are more associated with the material world than you know. We want to be mindful of any sort of escapisms or anything along those lines, anything that's hindering you from getting to your 10 of Pentacles, and anything that's, you know, that keeps you from connecting with again, with connecting with the source. But depending on where your placements are, this is forming an opposition with your sign. And oppositions are tougher energies, because they do bring energies of polarity. So it's hard for the energies to integrate together, but it's not impossible. It just requires a little more work. And when you do, the rewards can be it can be just wonderful. And, you know, usually with oppositions, it's like either like a situation or relationships kind of forces us into making a decision here. So, because it seems like you're gonna be. It seems like there's gonna be a lot to think about so far. So it seems like with relationships and the peoples that you form bonds with, and that you have existing bonds with, you know, things are either going to be strengthened, or they're going to be adjusted. But let's get an oracle on this. Interesting. All right, so you got the 8th card of Gemini's here, which is the Wheel of Karma. And with this card, this is a card of karma, dharma, destined, inevitable, cause and effect, divine intervention, cycles, luck, fortune, rise and fall, circumstances, consequences, divine will, and blind justice. And the energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is the circumstances. And I feel like with this, there's like, I really am getting like, I feel like there are going to be certain situations or certain kind of circumstances where you find yourself, I don't know, really needing to like evaluate where it is that you're going. Like the energies, I feel like that things are, because this gives me, which I wonder why, gives me very Wheel of Fortune type of vibes where it's like certain situations are getting ready to, or it's like the universe is trying to like steer you in a certain direction here. And I feel like there may be this energy of resistance at first, because maybe again we might have to make some tougher decisions, and we may need to be think about like in the short term. It's like in this instance, it's like everything, not that everything's fine, but it's just like maybe we can kind of figure out something, right? And it feels like there's going to be a lot of change that's going to be happening here, Virgo. Something here where, let me get some tarot on this and get some details. Thank you. Interesting. All right, Virgo. There's been a lot of judgment that's been going around here. So you have the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and then the Judgment card. And that's where I feel like, Virgo, it's just like there are, it feels like that it's like when we're thinking about, for some, if we find ourselves reevaluating our relationships and things, and paying attention to the work that we're putting into, because I feel like that it's some like we're not getting as much done as we want to, or not getting things, it's almost like we're not getting things to completion. And it's just like there's these, I don't know, there's this something is interfering, I feel like, or conflicting with where your goals is, or conflicting with your routine, or conflicting with your work, and it's making it a lot harder than I feel like it needs to be. And there's this sense of this sort of like this deeper change that's getting ready to come here with the Judgment card. It's just like we've been, maybe again, not been refusing to face reality and just ignoring our intuition here, that's saying to call you that, Virgo, it's time, for this particular circumstance. These relationships were meant to teach us these one things, but now it's like we've been in a situation that has outlasted its purpose. Or again, or we're in like a situation or a relationship that has, yeah, that we've it's like we've overstayed, or maybe even over invested in, and it's time to, it's like the universe is trying to get you to, it's taking you to a new direction, because after the Judgment is the World card, Saturn energy, where it's like, we're bringing things to a close, and then getting to the Fool energy, where we're starting something new here. And for some, this could be because the Four of Wands can be like a card of marriage, possibly. And maybe for some it's like this, and not necessarily that we're getting a divorce there, Virgo, but it's just like more so that maybe there's something where we, if, and this feels like if this is something we've been thinking about for a little bit, if it's been kind of on the back of your head, and it's just like it's just like how would we operate in this new routine if we were to break this thing off possibly. That's it. Then and again, I don't feel like there's any sort of necessarily any problems that are going to come up in a relationship. I feel like this is something that it's been maybe kind of maybe started off as something real small, but it's starting to escalate more and more and more and more, and we're realizing that we can I mean we can choose to face to ignore this stuff, but it's just going to keep accumulating there, Virgo, and just keep it's just going to keep providing that strife. And it's just like I feel like we're working a lot harder on something than when we need to with the Eight of Pentacles here. Yeah. Let me get a little bit more on this Judgment card though. Thank you. Alright, Virgo, so the Judgment card is clarified by the Knight of Swords and then the Three of Cups here. And I feel like with the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords is looking to the future, and he's usually in like the Rider White tarot, he's like it's like he's fighting up he's on this horse going uphill, and there's like this storm that's kind of the winds are like blowing against him, but he's still charging straight ahead because he knows that it's going to get to this energy of celebration in things. But again, there are going to be challenges that are going to be happening with the Five of Wands, with the Three of Swords. They're going to be tougher energies, and it's going to be some work here with the Eight of Pentacles. But again, it's going to lead to you getting back to your abundance again, and leading to this energy of celebration. And it really kind of changes the. I know something. I feel like it's going to change the circumstances wherever you're at right now, Virgo, and it's going to be some work, but I feel like that it can be resolved in the long run here. But yeah, something to think about there, Virgo. And I even kind of feel with the Knight of Swords, because he's a very fast moving knight. And it feels like that, since you got between the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, it's like maybe we've been kind of dragging our feet, because it's slightly, yeah, the Knight of Pentacles is considered the slowest moving knight. And it's like we've been maybe dragging our feet on something, but now it's like the energies are trying to get you to start moving, really start thinking, and see like what's going on next there, Virgo. But all right, let's talk about let's get some tea and let's talk about Taurus. Because you got Jupiter and Uranus that are retrograde in Taurus. And Jupiter's going to be retrograde until pretty much to the end of the year, the 30th of December. And with this energy, this really asks us to like really kind of slow down and pay attention to the things that we've invested in so far. Because Jupiter, whatever he touches, there's abundance in it. And if we've been investing in things that have been getting in our way, have been lowering our vibrations, well, Jupiter doesn't discriminate in what abundance means to you. He's just like, oh, that's what you want, bet. And so, I feel like that this is something where, because we're thinking about investing in the long term. We want quality. And Taurus deals with is a sign of security and stability. And if we feel that the things we've been investing in hasn't been providing that, then Jupiter wants us to pause and start making some changes, because Jupiter is about growth as well, Virgo. And so we just want to make sure that we're keeping that in mind. But also, Uranus is going to be retrograde until next year, 2024, on January 27th. And with this is about thinking about like novel, like just like kind of novel ideas as far as like how we want to invest in the future, and how that contributes to us, and then also how that contributes to society as well. Because Uranus rules over Aquarius, and again, they're about the collective and groups and things like that. And so it's thinking about that, Virgo, but you may also notice too, I mean, there's already been changes, but like in the economy and the stock markets, a lot of stuff that Uranus really brings that kind of that radical sort of like just sort of shock to the system. So something to pay attention to as well, especially when you're in that kind of that efficient energy of Venus being in your sign. And again, it's not going to be like once this energy goes away or moves, once she moves out of your sign, it's just going to go away. But it's just like while it's in there right now, you can really think about how you're investing in stuff. And then depending on your placement, where your Virgo placements are at, this is forming a trine with your sign. Now, trines are the most fortunate aspect, and they bring about luck, opportunities, good fortune. They pretty much remove obstacles out of your way. It's really fantastic energy. So, and the fact that Jupiter's forming a trine with your sign, that's really dope, Virgo. There's great sign of abundance, Wheel of Fortune. But again, we just got to pay attention to where we're putting that energy into. But let's get an oracle on the mix. Thank you. And exactly, we think about endgame there, Virgo. Because you got the ninth card of Leos, which is the checkered flag card. And with this card, this is a card of conclusion, outcome, finale, completion, verdict, settled, results, signaling the end, finishing first, achievement, culmination, final chapter, endings, and feeling relieved. And the energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is the signaling the end. And I don't feel like that needs to be as, because that can seem a little ominous, or like that that it's just gonna be, I don't know, just gonna be a lot of endings. It's giving me kind of judgment vibes here. But the thing is, it's not about the endings, Virgo, because everything comes to completion at some point. There's just the cycles of life. But it's like where something ending, something is simultaneously beginning. We're getting into a new chapter. And that's what it kind of feels like, that the universe is trying to shift you to something different, and we're gonna need to get organized as we're going through this stuff here. But we're gonna have to face the fact that things are going to have to change when you're getting those signals for making a move or for. Because again, I'm getting like tower vibes, but not in the sense that they're necessarily happening to you. This is something where we can initiate this change. We notice this, and it's like if we notice these things are hurting us or that that aren't working. Eight of Cups. Let's start to put this stuff behind us and start getting that wheel moving again. But let's get some tarot on this. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, Virgo, so you have the Two of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Seven of Wands here. And I feel like that with the Two of Pentacles here, it's like your energies are being reintegrated, like it's like there's, because this can be a card of things changing, like it's like the universe is like reharmonizing with it's like I don't know, it's like trying to get you on again towards your highest vibration, get you focusing on what your Ten of Pentacles are, what your dreams are, what your goals, your game plans and things. And with the Six of Wands, where this is a card of celebration, but in order to get to that, because I'm even liking that, like just even thinking how your energy is going. You got the 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Wands here, and it's just like we're moving. It's like the energies are trying to get you ramped up here, but but even though, sorry, but getting off track there, but with the Six of Wands, where this can be a card of victory, it's usually there are people like celebrating in the Six of Wands. So, this person coming from a long journey, but where it's you can forget sometimes that there is that long journey that needs to happen in order to get there. And there's that we can forget sometimes the times where we may have criticized ourselves, or really kind of doubted ourselves, or maybe even been with some others that may have been criticizing us possibly, or like, wow, why are you changing, Virgo? What happened? Things didn't used to be like this. And so I feel like, while if this is something that you happen to go through, Virgo, try to make sure to be kind to yourself, because like, that's one thing on a lower vibration that can be where Virgo energy can be overly critical. But I feel like not even just of others, more so on you. And yeah, you want to show yourself some compassion, because you're getting this energy figured out, and you've been putting in, embracing this change, and that's a lot, to deal with. And, there are going to be certain circumstances where you find yourself kind of at again in like a Three of Swords energy, where it's just like it's tough, when you're dealing with that sort of like judgment type of transformation, and like going through that rebirth, and things are ending and starting up. And but it doesn't feel like it's like a grand reset, but there is something is evolving, or something is changing, is the energy that just keeps kind of popping in my head here, Virgo. And it's, let me get a little bit more on the Seven of Wands here. Thank you. All right, Virgo. Right. So you have the Six of Wands, or excuse me, the Seven of Wands is clarified by the Six of Swords and then the Queen of Swords. And we want to be careful about getting in our heads with this thing, Virgo. Like, I do feel like that there's a need to make just trust your intuition, trust what your instincts are telling you. And they're, because you do have the Six of Swords is moving on to new experiences, but in order to get to that stuff, there are going to be things where there are going to be some people or situations, maybe living spaces, that we may need to leave behind in order to get to that new place. And it may not make sense in that moment, but it's all going to come together in the grand scheme of things. It's just it's like, once we make these moves, you got to give higher self a minute to kind of get that stuff kind of caught up there, Virgo. But hmm. All right, Virgo. All right, let's talk about this last energy here, since Pluto popped up. Because you got Pluto that's in Capricorn. Let me get some tea real quick, Virgo. And with Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto's going to be going direct on the 10th of October. It'll pretty much be in Capricorn until about towards the end of January 2024, around the 20th, I want to say. It was really close to Aquarius season. But with this energy, Virgo, this is world-changing energy right here, because both Pluto and in Capricorn are success and power oriented, and I feel like that's what's happening here. I feel like some of you, it's like you're getting into this place of where we're doing this leaving this stuff behind here, so that we can get into our really kind of embody our sense of power. Really come into your energy. And this is also going to force us to kind of face feelings about what power looks like in corporations and governments, because that's stuff that kind of Capricorn kind of embodies. And this is going to be a lot. Maybe for some, we might want to do maybe some kind of advocate work, or maybe for some others, maybe we're kind of thinking about starting up our own type of business, and kind of maybe we're done with like the kind of like the corporate type of environment, and want to be like our, yeah, just this sense of like autonomy and things. But there is going to be a transformation of social order, because we're getting ready to move from more kind of like ambitious, sort of like structured, prestigious kind of like energies of like, business like Capricorn, to the freedom of Aquarius. And that it's about networking and the collective, and forming groups, and that sort of like co-creation and things like that, collaborative energy. So it's going to be an interesting time, I feel like, over these next especially over the next couple of years for sure. But I think that it's we'll I think it could be really, really exciting there as well. But now, depending on where your placements are, and this one you're going to need your time of birth, Virgo, to for this one. But because Pluto's going to be I think retrogrades up until about the 27th degree before he starts moving back forward in Capricorn. So, but that's also going to be forming a trine with your sign, just like with Taurus. And so again, you got very fortunate aspects that are forming with your energy. So, utilize this to your advantage to initiate this change here, Virgo, to move on to newer opportunities. But let's get your last oracle card. Interesting, Virgo. All right, so you got the third card of Geminis, which is the broken heart card. And with this card, this is a card of heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, and emotional pain. An energy that's coming through here, Virgo, is the heartbreak. And there may be some decisions here. It's giving me Three of Swords type of vibes that kind of came through. There are going to be some choices that we're going to need to make, Virgo. I feel that may break your heart. That may having us feel in all kinds of ways. And it's tough. However this this might come. If this comes to fruition, but I feel that it is something, despite these tough changes here, Virgo, I do feel like that it's the universe is not, again, just doing this just to keep you down. This is getting you thinking in a different type of way here. We may feel kind of disappointed with the choices that we have to make. We may have had one picture in our head of what 10 of Pentacles looks like, and then it completely shifts. I was actually talking with someone about this the other day, where I have a musical background, and I had it was, the ideas was still kind of forming in my head as far as like what I wanted to do, but definitely picture myself in like this sort of like orchestra type of setting, doing just being just completely wrapped up in music. Like tarot wasn't even on my radar, back at that time. And it's sometimes thinking about it, it does sort of it sucks, and it's not to say like that I can't do that still, but the the universe has an interesting way of getting you on where you're meant to be. And there are going to be some times where, we think we know who we are and what we're meant to do, but then, circumstances change. And then we have to do something, and then, there's a different type of calling there. And sometimes we have to trust that instinct, whether it's, starting something, maybe starting a different occupation, or, starting a different, maybe getting out of a relationship, or, but again, it's not just about, I feel like with that signaling the end, I feel like we don't want to just focus on the fact that things are ending. We want to focus on that things are also going to be beginning as well. There's a new chapter that's getting ready to come that's getting ready to come up there, Virgo. And where your Mercury ruled, like it's that you can be, so you think a lot. Listen, I got a Gemini moon, and so I get that. But it is one of those things, while you're going through this experience, maybe journal this stuff down, put this stuff out to the universe, and just like sort of just like express your, like it can help kind of get those thoughts down and help you get organized in things. But let me get your last little tarot cards here. Interesting, Virgo. That's a little tough. That's all right. Because you have the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and then the Justice card. Let's switch back over. Because I feel like that Libra with the Justice card. You know, this is a card of cause and effect, in that there are, I feel like it's like the universe is trying to get you in your true kind of harmony here, you know, and that's like, it's going to feel that, I really feel like this is going to kind of push your energies in a way, you know, where we're going to feel challenged, and there are going to be times where we may feel burnt out, you know, where we might get kind of stuck in our heads here and just feeling the burden of all these changes and the weight of all this stuff. And it can be a lot, but I feel like that it's, with the Ten of Wands here, I almost feel like that there's this, at first it's going to feel like a lot, but it's going to be, once things start to kind of balance out there, there's going to be almost this huge sense of relief. Because it feels like that this is maybe something that has been cooking up for maybe a little while here. You know, it's just because we've been kind of refusing to maybe face the fact that something needs to change, or that there's something that's not working properly, or that it's just like we think it's harmonizing with us. And it's not to say that you're not in a happy situation right now, Virgo, but it feels like that there's something that's coming up that's, I don't know, it's going to get us really, I feel like possibly in the state of doubt here, you know, as far as like, have we been making the right decisions up until this point? Why have we been doing this thing? What was the whole point of that? And, you know, again, get into that sort of just spiral there. And, but everything does happen for a reason, you know, it's all happening in divine timing. And it's just like, when we're in it, it's hard to see that, you know, but it's just like, once things start to like lighten up and starts to, it's just like, once things starting to lighten up, I feel like we're going to see that it was all, or why it was all meant to happen this way, you know. It's I think I'm gonna leave that there, Virgo. But yeah, that was a little bit of a tough one there, Virgo. But I feel that it's a signaling the time of a brand new beginning, and that in itself is exciting. But you know, if you like that, Virgo, give it a thumbs up and share this, because I do feel like it is kind of hard to make these changes, and, you know, think about these because I do feel, I don't know, it's like something with the Ten of Wands. It's just like something's been kind of weighing on us for a while, but or maybe we have someone we may know who's been having stuff that, you know, things have been weighing on their head. You know, they've been kind of balanced, figuring out, you know, just like, what's the next move gonna be. But share this, Virgo. And if you haven't already, High Priestess, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week. And then last thing, speaking of the High Priestess, look at you getting Cancer's ruler. My sun signs in Cancer, and but not that you need her. But if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Cherry Den, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. Absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. Even when they're Pisces, I always give Pisces a little flack there from time to time. But all that housekeeping, Virgo, is down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Virgo. And you got the Page of Swords here. And I feel like with the Page of Swords, you know, that there is, I feel like the idea of what we were meant to do, I feel like is evolving in a way. That there's, or what we maybe even like, what bonds we were meant to form, or there's going to be like it's like a paradigm shift, I feel like, is happening, Virgo. But I do feel like, again, with the Page of Swords, and you see you got the Eight of Swords here, 2, 3 of Swords. Just being, again, mindful of just getting caught up in that, like any sort of like a spiral or like a loop or anything along those lines. Just we want to be careful with that, because it does. I feel like, all this stuff here is happening for a reason. It's not just, again, just doing things just meant to keep you down. It's getting you towards getting you thinking towards like a higher perspective. But let me get your Oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Thank you. I love that, Virgo. That's a lovely little ending there. Because you got the 22nd card here, which is the Blessed card. You absolutely are blessed, Virgo. And because, your energy really is amazing. I feel like you really are just really incredible manifestors. You really, and I feel that when life throws you challenges, yeah, it can be tough, but you can get that figured out. You have that, you're intelligent, and you're able to, I don't know, it's like you're able to, all right, here's the problem, let's get things situated. I feel like once you really get in your groove, there's nothing that you can do, Virgo, and that's such a gift. And I feel like, don't forget that. And this is just showing you that even when you're faced with adversities, that you can rise up above this stuff and turn this pressure into something, into like productive energy. It's just like, it's paying attention to how you're channeling that. And yeah, Virgo. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Virgo. Yeah, don't for yeah. Always remember that higher self always had your back, and everything's all gonna make sense in divine timing for sure. But you stay safe out there. These decisions that you need to make, and maybe bonds that we may be changes that we might be making in our lives. And absolutely, Virgo, raise your vibration to the roof. Because the Nine of Wands can be like a recovery card. Because with all these changes, that can be a lot to put on our shoulders. And, yeah, just make sure that we're taking time to self-care. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.